Hey everyone, this is George Curtis Van Loo here. So excited that you're going to join me on learning a musical instrument using my book, Method to the Melody. If you don't have the book, the videos aren't going to work so great, so the first link in the description is to purchase the book. Also, make sure to follow, like, and share on all of our social media platforms. Alright guys, so we're working on the first page of the Flute book. If you didn't watch the How to Set Up or First Sounds videos, make sure you go back and watch those. If you don't watch those, a lot of this won't make any sense. One of the hard things on flute is actually just holding it and getting it to your lips correctly, okay? So that's the first thing we're gonna work on. So we're gonna start with our left hand. We're gonna take this part of our pointer finger where it's almost becoming the palm of your hand, this first knuckle of your finger. You're gonna find the smallest key on the flute. There's the space in between this one and the rest of the key. So find that key, then take that part of your finger and press it into the flute. Okay, you're not pressing that key, it should just be just in front of that key. Okay, so that goes there. Then take your thumb, and you'll see two keys here on the back. Okay, and you want to press this long flat one. Okay, so you press that down with your thumb, keeping your pointer finger pressed into the flute. Then you press this first key here, skipping that smallest key. Okay, do you see that? That's your first key. You skip this third key, and then 2 and 3. Okay, so there's how it looks. I'm doing it from the back because it should look just like this when you're playing. Okay, so again, thumb on the flat key, skip the first smallest key, 1, skip this third key, 2 and 3. So the next hand, of course, is our right hand. And what you're going to do is just find the last 3 round keys on the flute. Okay, they're right there. Okay, it's simple as that. Pointer finger goes on the first one, middle finger on the second one, ring finger on the third one. And the thumb just sits right underneath the first 2 keys. Okay, now a very important key is this little teardrop shape. See multiple keys down here. It's just the first one. It's the first key after our last round key here, our ring finger. It's right there. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, the last 3 keys on the flute, and your pinky goes on the teardrop shape. Alright, so re-watch that part of how to hold it as many times as you need to until you feel comfortable holding it. Remember, there's also the diagram on the first page that tells you which keys to skip and which ones to press. So next is just, getting it up to your lips. That's still kind of difficult. So once you're holding it correctly, got your knuckle pressed in, just press every key down while you're holding it, okay? All the keys that your fingers are on, press those down. What you need to do is sit up very straight. You never go to your instrument, okay? The instrument always comes to you. So sit up straight. And what you need to do is you need to get the flute, the lip plate, to your face, okay? So what you need to do is while sitting up straight, you lift up, both elbows are bent, okay? And then you just push straight. You push the flute straight as if it's a big long pole and you're just following it that way. Okay, and then you want to get that right in front of you. So again, both elbows are bent. It's not way out in front of you. It's just right in here comfortably, just in front of your face. Okay, pressing all the keys down and just move it to the side. So you're straightening this elbow, okay, and just moving it to the side. Okay, a lot of the motion feels like it's coming from the elbow and the shoulder up here. You're pushing it to the side. Alright, so we're going to play the first note here. Hold the flute the way you just learned, just press every key down. How you read those diagrams is the first 3 circles are your first 3 fingers, and you have a line that's separating your 2 hands, your left hand and your right hand. And on your right hand, you've got the last 3 keys. Okay, then you've got pinky and thumb in the back. Okay, the flat key, not the round one, the flat one. Okay, so get the flute up to your lips, and then it says you press the first one on the left hand, the first one on the right hand, pinky and thumb. So 1, 1, pinky, thumb. Alright, sitting up straight. Then you say the first note out loud. B flat, 3rd line. Okay? And the reason it says that's really simple, B flat 3rd line, is because it's on the 3rd line. You count up from the bottom. So 1, 2, 3. B flat is on the 3rd line. And you play it with 1, 1, pinky, thumb. Now the next note is C. It's on the 3rd space. And all you do is you lift up your first finger on your right hand and the thumb on the left hand. So all you're pressing is the first key and the pinky. Okay, and then you say it out loud. C, 3rd space. Also called that because it's on the 3rd space. Count the spaces. 1, 2, 3. It's on the 3rd space. Now we have D on the 4th line. Okay, you're skipping the first finger and the pinky. So you're pressing down thumb, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay? Now this is a really hard switch. Going from C to D is the 2 fingers that you're pressing, first finger and your pinky, you swap them completely. So you don't press those keys and you press every other key. So you need to practice that transition. The transitions from key to key on flute are some of the hardest. So it's the first finger and the pinky, and then switch to every other key. So watch that carefully and do it over and over with me. So if you do it 100 times, you'll have it down perfectly. Okay, so we have D, 4th line. Remember to say the notes out loud before you play them. Now this one's really easy. All you do is add the pinky. We have E flat. Okay, so add the pinky. We have E flat, 4th space. Simple. Okay, and now we have F. We add the first finger down, and we lift up the bottom 2 keys. Okay, so you need to practice going back and forth from the E flat and the F. Okay, so here's E flat, no first finger, every other key is pressed, and all you do is right when you push that finger down, the last 2 fingers come up. Okay, practice that over and over. If you spend a lot of time on this first page and just working on these transitions without even playing, just going back and forth, making sure you have it down correct, you're going to get really good at this. Okay? Do it hundreds of times, just back and forth. Okay? And you have to be very careful that you're doing it correctly. Muscle memory works both ways. If you practice it wrong, you're going to play it wrong. Okay? Practice makes permanent. So if you practice it wrong, you're going to play wrong. It doesn't make perfect. Practice does not make perfect. I know you've probably heard that phrase. Practice makes permanent. So if you practice it right, you'll be great. If you practice it wrong, you're going to have it wrong. Okay, so be very careful that you're watching. The E is every key except for the first key. Then when you switch to F, you press that one down and you let go of the bottom 2. Okay, so we're playing F on the 5th line. 1, 2, 3, 1, pinky thumb. Then we just walk right back down the scale. Alright, so flute is not easy. All the instruments are hard, but flute has a very hard time right at the beginning. Okay, you need to be very careful to memorize these notes, the names, where they are, and the keys. Okay, so B flat, you got 1, 1, pinky thumb. You lift up the thumb and the first finger on the right hand. Once you go from C, then you go to D. You put down every finger that isn't down and lift up the ones that are. So first finger and pinky, you lift up and you push down every other key. Okay? Then all you do to switch to E flat is you add the pinky. And then to F is you put your first finger down and the last 2 fingers come up. So once you've practiced that hundreds of times, I'm not kidding, you need to rewind the video, you need to refresh the page, whatever you want to do, you need to go back to the beginning and watch that over and over and over and get those switches. Do it very slowly to start. When you're doing those switches, just when you go from C to D, just look at it and really slowly lay your fingers down. Okay? Switch, switch. Be very careful, be very precise. Purposeful practice. Okay? Method to the melody, purposeful practice. We want to make our practice purposeful. We don't want to waste the time. Okay, so once you've done that a lot, then see if you can play the scale with me this quickly. If you can't, you need to keep going back and rewatching the video. Okay, I'm going to count us in. Ready, play. Alright, so keep rewatching it until you can play it with me that fast, and you're all set to go.